Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the most lucrative money-making endeavor in the history of mankind. It's being a never-Trump Republican in a blue state like Illinois, voting alongside President Trump, according to 538, 90.2% of the time. And retweeting CNN and the Daily Beast every day on your Twitter profile. I don't have Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account. I haven't had a Twitter account or a Facebook account for around 3 years now. And so you could just see, you can go to Adam Kinzinger's Twitter account. You can just see him retweeting CNN, the Daily Beast, publications and cable stations that, if he was deemed an obstacle to the Democratic Party, would write the same types of stories about him. So he's going after a Florida Republican who is accused of some really horrible things. And if Gates is guilty, he deserves the full extent of the law. If he's been set up, the people who set him up deserve the full extent. But where are the charges? So, and you get this hysteria. He needs to resign. He's been accused. Well, Biden was accused. Look at the hypocrisy. They'll say, well, there's more people. There's more people who accused Gates. Or there's a federal probe. Yeah, there was a police report filed against our beloved president, Joe Biden. Why didn't he resign? They wanted Kavanaugh to resign. Adam Kinzinger wants the Florida Republican to resign. And then he went after Trump again today, or the other day. Adam Kinzinger blasts Trump for insulting McConnell. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Adam, for defending my honor. I always love the never-Trumpers. They're always a wonderful, morally upright, moral fiber that you could chew on. Adam Kinzinger blasts Trump for insulting McConnell GOP donor retreat. Classy as always. How classy is it as a Republican? And this is not an example of reaching across the aisle. You are retweeting propaganda. Like, if a person is charged with a crime, great. But don't go after a Florida Republican and then stay quiet with Joe Biden. I don't remember him going after Joe Biden. I don't know if he's gone after Andrew Cuomo. He might have. But you have a litany of Democrats who've been accused of Bob Menendez. Worse, he was accused of and had a trial pertaining to things that were worse than the Florida Republican. Again, he's playing both sides, but he voted alongside. If you can go to, I just don't understand. Aside from the money making, like he'll get a book deal. He'll keep his district. He'll stay representative of the Illinois 16th district, I guess. He's a Republican in a blue state. He has no chance at all at taking over the Republican Party because President Trump presided over the Abraham Accords. Could Kinzinger or Mitt Romney or Ben Sasse or any of the never-Trumpers preside over something as grandiose as peace between Israel, Bahrain, Morocco, UAE? Or would he have become the first president to step foot in North Korea to begin détente between North and South Korea? President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. President Trump signed prison reform legislation. He negotiated a deal to get us out of America's longest-running military conflict, longest-running counterinsurgency conflict. It's a 20-year quagmire. May 1st, 2021. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I'm going to give you a very unique perspective. If you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, The Times of Israel, The Roanoke Times, The Daily Caller, go to hagoodman.com. You can see my debates there as well. But Adam Kinzinger, this man, like people like Ben Sasse, Mitt Romney, haven't they learned from the Lincoln Project that oftentimes you're aligning yourself with the most disgraced people simply to go up against the Orange Menace? And I don't get it. Like, the Lincoln Project is completely and utterly disgraced, okay? He was forced to resign because there's a lot of evidence against him. The Florida Republican hasn't resigned. He hasn't been charged. The New Jersey senator years back was accused of really horrendous things. I don't know if Kinzinger or CNN or all the apoplectic, morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrats called for the New Jersey senator to resign. They certainly didn't call for President Biden to step down when he was campaigning. So Adam Kinzinger is at the same time simultaneously a never-Trumper, but voted alongside his Trump score, according to 538, you'll see the link below, is 90.2%. How are you this moral voice if you have voted 90.2% alongside President Trump? How often Kinzinger votes in line with Trump's position? 90.2%. During the 115th Congress, Kinzinger voted 99% alongside President Trump. 99%. Then the 116th Congress, he voted 83.5% alongside President Trump for a combined score total of 90.2%. Okay, so 86.7% of the time, how often Kinzinger is expected to support Trump based on Trump's 2016 margin. Okay, so he even opposed, this is how you know a person like Kinzinger and the Lincoln Project people and Ben Sass. I wouldn't even be I support President Trump, but the authorization for use of military force. There was one resolution or one he even opposed Democrats preventing President Trump from engaging in future military I forgot exactly what. You can look. He supported President Trump's position far more than you would think from somebody that claims to be this, moral voice against Trump. This is the thing. It's a racket. It's the greatest money-making racket because you can get votes and donations from Republicans. Well, at the same time, you get favorable coverage from CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and the Washington Post. Oh, he's the good Republican. And then you're okay with the never-Trumpers, and you're good with the people who just want a decent man like Mittens Romney. Or George W. Bush, who set us on a course of never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. But you vote alongside Trump 90.2% of the time. So how are you this moral voice against Trump? I don't get it. And the link is below. The 538 link is below. 90.2%. Cheney had the same thing. I think Liz Cheney it was 92% of the time. You have never Trump Republicans who can't Trump runs the Republican Party. There's no doubt about it. He runs the Republican Party because he had a successful presidency on a number of issues. In terms of the economy, we had record low unemployment throughout a good portion of President Trump's tenure. If you blame Trump for the pandemic, you're pretty much ignorant about all the Democratic governors, or you're clueless pertaining to what Democrats presided over in their own states. Democratic-run states have the worst outcomes. Go to the New York Times statistics. The Democratic-run states had the absolute worst outcomes. 7 of the top 11 Democratic-run states account for 40% of all the lives lost. 40%. Around 40%. Almost 1 out of 2 people who lost their lives live in California or New York. New York and New Jersey have the highest per capita rates. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, it was the top 4 highest per capita rates are Democratic-run states. How is that Trump's fault? But again, it's like you're not this moral voice. You're not this moral voice if you vote alongside President Trump. How is that possible? How is that possible if you vote alongside President Trump 90% of the time in Congress, yet you retweet CNN articles, you retweet the Daily Beast articles, and these are articles saying sources say. The sources could say the same thing about Kinzinger. Could you imagine if he gets on the wrong side of, or he creates an adversary in Congress, or he just, gets on the wrong side of an intel chief, or, he, God forbid, goes out on a limb and opposes some kind of military intervention, or could you imagine, or what, something in his past where somebody accused him of something he did. He would be the Daily Beast, the CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post would be the judge, jury, and executioner. They'd be the judge, jury, and executioner, and he would have perhaps even other Republicans retweeting CNN and MSNBC articles or Daily Beast articles against him that just claim sources say, or that there might be an investigation. Okay? It's not like he's not like he's saying, okay, this Florida Republican has to, and like I said, if Gates is guilty, he deserves the full extent of the law, okay? But it's not like he's been charged. If he's been charged, that's a different story. If he's indicted, that's a different story, okay? I mean, you don't, here's what I'm trying to say. The same tactics that a person like Ben Sasse or Mitt Romney, Adam Kinzinger, utilize to level or to go up against Trump can easily be utilized against them by the same people that they're in bed with, okay? It's interesting. You can look at all the different... there's a really, really interesting... this is the one. Restricting President Trump from taking military action against a certain country without congressional approval. President Trump opposed that. So did Kinzinger. Even I wouldn't oppose that because I want Congress to be